Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin reporting for the Offshore Gaming Association. That's OSGA.com, your top source for all the information in the offshore sportsbook industry. That's OSGA.com. Time for another edition of my NFL Totals of the Week. And if you joined me last week, I had two winners that I released, 2-0. We had the Carolina Panthers and New England Patriots game over the total of 48.5. Carolina wins that game 33-30, easily going over the total of 48.5. And another easy winner on the Rams and Cowboys game over 47.5, with the Rams winning that game 35-30. So double-digit covers on each occasion. Matter of fact, we covered those games by 14.5 or more points on each occasion. Now let's get to three picks for Sunday. And let's see if we could duplicate what we did last week and even go one step further. Instead of 2-0, let's go 3-0 this week. Let's start with the game between the Chargers and the Giants, 1 p.m. Eastern Time at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Both teams come into this contest 0-4, so something has to give. And keep that in mind, a winless team on the road in these exact situations. We'll discuss later why that's important. The Giants, who went on a stretch dating back to last year where they scored 17 points or less in 8 consecutive games, have certainly come alive over the last 2 weeks offensively. Not enormous, but still a vast improvement by averaging 23.5 points and 397 total yards of offense per game during the last 2 games. Now, the Chargers, on the other hand, as I alluded to, 0-4, but certainly not your atypical 0-4 team. The Chargers have lost 3 of those 4 games by 3 points or less, though this very well could be easily a 3-1 team with a little bit of luck. However, that's not the case, and I do have an NFL totals betting angle that applies to this game. Anytime you have a winless road team like the Chargers are, and they're playing in games 2 through 8 of the season, and there's a total of 39.5 or more on the contest. In this particular instance, the total is currently 45, and they're facing an opponent that allowed 13 points or more in the previous game. Again, the Giants allowed 26 in that 26-24 loss at Tampa. Those games have proceeded to go 31-7 over the total since 2008. That's an 81.6% win percentage favoring the over in this identical situation. Repeating again, anytime you have a winless road team, games 2 through 8 of the season, a total of 39.5 or more, and they're facing an opponent that scored allowed 13 points or more in the previous game, 31-7 over the total since 2008. That's exactly what we're going to do. Chargers, Giants, over 44. Next game, Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. A game that will be played in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, 1 p.m. Eastern Time start on Sunday. The current total on this game is 43. The Jaguars are coming off an extremely disappointing 23-20 loss against the New York Jets on the road last week in a game they were a 4-point favorite. They certainly, after that 44-7 win the week before against Baltimore and London, expected a lot more out of Jacksonville against what many think is a very weak Jets team. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they traveled to Baltimore to take on their bitter division rival, the Baltimore Ravens, and they came away with an easy 26-9 win on the road. Another NFL betting angle that applies in this instance. Anytime you have a home team with a total of between 43 and 48, and are coming off a division win in which they scored 23 points or more, again, home team being Pittsburgh, the total in this contest is 43, and they're coming off that division win at Baltimore, 26-9, and they're facing an opponent off a straight-up favorite loss. As we alluded to, Jacksonville loses as a 4-point favorite on the road against the Jets last week. Those games have gone 19-2 over the total since 2008. Folks, that's 90.5% favoring the over in that exact situation. Exactly what we're going to do again. Take the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers over 43. Now, if you want to look at either one of these betting angles, be sure to go out to osga.com, and you can find my article as it pertains to NFL Week 5 totals. That's osga.com, and you can find those exact terminology of those betting angles right there within my article. Now, last game, Carolina at Detroit. The total in this contest is 43. The Detroit Lions are coming off a 14-7 win as a 3-point underdog against the Minnesota Vikings last week on the road. Dating back to last season, the Lions have gone under the total in 8 consecutive games now when there's a total of 46.5 or less, and those games only averaged a combined 30.9 points per game. Let me repeat that again. The Detroit Lions, anytime they have a total of 80 or 46.5 or less, they've gone under the total 8 consecutive times in that situation dating back to last season, and there's been a combined 30.9 points per game scored. Talk about defensive battles when Detroit's in that identical situation. That certainly applies here on Sunday. And both of these defenses, make no mistake about it, have been very good to start the year. I know Carolina allowed 30 points or more in each of the last 2 games, but it's by no fault of their defense. A lot of it has been turnover generated by their offense. As a matter of fact, the Carolina Panthers on the season are allowing only 282 yards of total offense to the opposition per game. And then the Detroit Lions, very good defensive numbers as well. The Lions are only allowing 17.5 points and 322 yards per game thus far. I look for this one to be a low-scoring affair. I'm going with the Carolina Panthers, Detroit Lions, under 43. Repeating again, the Chargers, Giants, over 45. The Jaguars and Steelers, over 43. And also the Panthers and the Lions, under 43. Those are your 3 NFL totals picks for Sunday. Let's sweep the board again and move on with more winners. And talking about winners, be sure to visit me at my website. That's rbwins.com. There you can access all the games I personally wager on myself, as well as my paying clients receive. That's rbwins.com, where you pay a little to make a lot. My name is Ross Benjamin. Thank you for joining me. I'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best of luck with your picks this coming weekend.